Hello there. We are covering a quick setup which will allow you to live stream your podcast on video and also record your podcast for editing and then releasing on your podcast feed like you normally would. So a lot of shows will find value in live streaming. It creates an event for your listeners so that they can kind of gather around and listen to your podcast as a group. You can have a chat function. People can be, chatting with you and talking, commenting on the podcast while you're live. So a lot of benefits there, and it's pretty straightforward to set up. What we're using today to go over the setup is an app called Restream. So it's just restream.io. I first discovered this platform as an option to set up a live stream to one destination, and Restream would then split that off into multiple platforms. So you could go live to Restream, and it would send it to Twitch and YouTube and Facebook and Periscope all at the same time automatically. So that's what they started with, and they now also have a live studio. So you can open Restream in your browser, and you can actually set up your cameras, add music, add microphones, and just live stream right from Chrome, which is cool. So before we get started on Restream, we always recommend recording a backup recording when you're doing a podcast. And if you are live streaming, especially if you have a co-host who you'll be live with, you're kind of calling them in through Restream. They're in a remote location. They're separate from you. It's good to record your own track separately from your co-host or from your guest. That way you can sync those up and edit them in post-production. Having different voices on different tracks is always the best option for control and post-production. So first, we're going to record a backup of your microphone. So right now I'm just using the ATR 2100. It's USB running right into the Mac. No audio interface, no Zoom H6, none of that stuff. It's just plugged USB directly in. So what you're going to do is open up the app QuickTime. And if you're on a Windows machine, there's an app on Windows called Voice Recorder, and does the same job as QuickTime. So with QuickTime open, go to File, go to New Audio Recording. The little transport will pop up. Click this caret next to the record button and just make sure that your microphone is selected. So ATR 2100 USB. And you can see here that it's receiving signal from my mic as I talk. You see that coming through. And just hit record. And that's it. It's a quick side note. If you're doing a solo podcast and you're just recording, this is the easiest way to record. A USB microphone plugged into your Mac or Windows and open QuickTime and do a new audio recording. That is the easiest, simplest, quickest setup for recording a solo podcast. So you'll record obviously for the whole length of the podcast. I'm going to stop that for right now. I'll just leave this over here. And then back to Restream. So there's a couple things that you can do here if you want to set up events or set up multiple live streams, but we're just going to focus on the live studio. So I'll click in to go to the live studio. Wait, give us a second to load. Hi, you can see me now. So this has a lot of options that you would see on like a Twitch streamer or something like that. You can have backgrounds, you can have overlays, you can have a chat box. There's a lot of stuff that you can do here, especially if you have a co-host or a guest that's calling in. You can change how you want the video displayed. So you can call somebody in and screw around with some of these different controls. Over on the right, you're able to change the colors to meet what's in your show's branding. You can change the font style. You can add a logo. You can add a custom overlay, custom backgrounds. There's a lot that you can do. You can turn on captions as well. So you can have these little things that pop up like this while you're recording. You can kind of just click to pop them up while you're live every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. And then you can also have a chat overlay. So that way people that are watching the stream can chat in. Those messages will show up on the feed. You can respond to them and people will keep chatting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Essentially, all you want to do in order to, at least from the audio video side, to get things set up is just double check what Restream is using for your microphone and for your video. So down here you have controls similar to like Skype or Zoom where you can toggle your video and your microphone on and off. And then click the gear here that you can adjust those audio settings and just make sure everything is running exactly where you want it. So video input, usually is your built-in webcam. If you have an external webcam, you can change this. Video resolution, definitely recommend 720, make it as high as quality as possible. And then audio and input and output, if you're using the ATR 2100, these will both be set to the same thing. You'll have to change this setting a little bit if you're using an interface or a RODECaster. It might be slightly different, but for a single USB microphone, yeah, audio input and output should both be set to ATR 2100. And then if you go to advanced settings, double check that the live stream quality is at 720. I think it depends on what your webcam is to give you the option if this might be in 1080 or if it might be even one grade lower at 480. But if you have the option to make this higher than 720, definitely do that. And audio preferences. So you don't need echo cancellation if you're wearing headphones. And I always recommend that you do wear headphones. So echo cancellation basically is like, if you're not wearing headphones, your guest's audio is going to be coming through like the laptop speakers, and your microphone's going to pick a little bit of that up, and it's going to echo in your microphone the voice of the other person. So you can turn that on if you don't have headphones, but again, I always recommend wearing them while you're recording. And if you have them on, you don't need to have that enabled at all. Noise suppression, that will usually be able to be filtered out in post-production. If you don't have the processing or the plugins in order to handle noise suppression, noise reduction in post, then you can select this, and Restream will try to do it as much as it can. Auto gain control and high resolution audio, that's fine. So the goal would be to be able to live stream on Restream, get the audio and video files, and edit the podcast straight from there. So you definitely want high resolution audio. But remember, we do have QuickTime running in the background in case anything goes wrong with the live stream, or in case the quality drops. You know, if your bandwidth suffers, the quality might go down. So we do have that backup in QuickTime, but it would be great if you can record directly from Restream and just drop it into your timeline for post-production and export it. So those are the settings for audio and video. And that's really all you need to do. Once you're ready to go, you can click go live. Like I said, you can invite people to the stream. You can add, you can share your screen, kind of like Zoom. There's a lot of stuff that you can do to customize it. So just remember, again, just to recap, get Restream set up, double check your microphone settings, make sure it's pulling audio and sending audio from the right microphone, the right device. And when you're ready to go live on Restream, and then don't forget to, on QuickTime, open a new audio recording, and then make sure you're recording here as well as on Restream at the same time. And that's pretty much it. Let us know if you have any questions on that, and if you are using a platform other than Restream, StreamYard, Riverside, things like that, they should all function pretty similarly, and we do recommend recording a backup with all of those. So this setup should work if you're not using Restream, if you're using one of those instead. So again, let us know if you have any questions on what we covered here. Thanks.